Hello and welcome to the Falling Knife Project, where we're trying to turn $25,000 into $750,000 by trading options. Today I'll be sharing a tool that I use quite frequently. It's something that was created by David Sun from the Trade Busters. He created it out of necessity. So David runs a hedge fund and wanted to be able to dynamically size trades and be able to get instant feedback on those trades through analytics and be able to view the equity curve and correlations. So he created this sheet called a Chimera Lab, okay, or a Chimera sheet, and that's what we're going to go over today. Before we get going, I am not a financial advisor. I'm taking an incredible amount of risk. This is for entertainment only. Okay, so you can see this sheet here. Now I asked David, I said, how did you come up with Chimera Lab? What is Chimera? And he said, you don't know what Chimera is? And I said, no. So it turns out that Chimera is a mythological Greek creature that has the heads of different animals on it, okay? And I think it's pretty interesting because it does kind of represent what we're trying to do with this sheet, where our trades are the different strategies, are the different heads of the chimera, right? We're trying to blend those together in the right way to make the perfect beast of a portfolio. So, looking at the data sheet, basically what we're doing to get this to work is we are running every single one of our strategies in Option Omega in portfolio view mode, and then we're exporting the P&L from that portfolio view output into this spreadsheet, okay? And then we're labeling these strategies up top again. You can make them whatever they are, but that I'm calling Ball Crush. And then there's a whole lot of math that goes on behind the scenes here with formulas. Basically, we come over to the summary sheet, and here are our strategies that are across the top here. Okay, so it's grabbing them from the other tab. All we have to do is put in our starting net lick, which I'm going to do $25,000. This is actually a very similar setup, I would say, to what I'm running for the Falling Knife project. So figured I would show what it looks like as I tried to blend these. So you'll see right in here that the tinker trades are in. We'll start with one tinker trade. Okay, we'll add another, and you can see how it's dynamically changing the portfolio. Okay, so those are the three tinker trades right there. You can see the analytics that it's spitting out right here. So max drawdown, this is raw max drawdown. So one thing I did not mention yet is that when I'm running these through Option Omega, the sizing is for a one lot of each one of these trades, because I have the ability over in column B to change the lot size, and that's really what we're trying to do, is figure out what the appropriate sizing is to make a blend that's optimal. Okay, so again, I did a one lot of each of the tinker trades. I'm going to add in the volatility crush trade. We'll add in the oscillator and one of these inside days. I'm not even sure which is the right one. I think it's probably the first one, but I'm not sure. And then these trend trades, I'm not sure again which one of these because I don't have them labeled appropriately, but this is pretty close to probably what we're running. Let's see. Yeah, max drawdown's a lot higher than what I modeled, so it's not exactly right. I'm guessing I probably put in one too many trend trades, but it'll do for what we're talking about. So one thing to note here is this max drawdown. The way I like to calculate max drawdown is I take the maximum dollar drawdown over the course of this period. So in this case, it's $19,341. And then I divide that into the starting portfolio net lick. Okay, so that gives us a true resemblance of what our maximum drawdown would be had we started at the worst time possible. Okay, because what happens when you're not dynamically scaling, so again, this is just fixed lot based sizing. What happens is as your P&L increases, if you don't calculate it this way, your max drawdown this way, the losses become diluted, and it's going to look like your max drawdown is less than it really could or would be, okay, if you were dynamically scaling. So you can see the different metrics. We have Average loss day, that's per day. CAGR, win-loss percentage, so we're winning 51% of the days. Losses over $1,000 all the way up to $10,000, and then some estimates of Sortino, Mar, and Sharp. Now, I will say this is my version of David's Chimera Lab, so I basically just copied what David did, but my analytics, this is all geared towards stuff that I prefer. I think David has some other stuff on there. David also, his sheet's cool because it has correlations on it of all of the different strategies, and I process those externally to this spreadsheet. So the other thing that's unique about mine a little bit is that mine is capable of running 30 different strategies, and I think his was 4. So this is how I prefer to optimize and size a portfolio. I know there's other tools that have come out recently, probably within the last 2 to 3 months, that you can just export out of Option Omega portfolio view with multiple strategies in that portfolio, and it'll do analysis for you. I've also done similar stuff where I've vibe coded some programs. Some of the shortcomings that I see in those automated optimizers are you need to be careful about how they're optimizing, what criteria they're optimizing off of. So I've noticed when you have, I'll show you here on the screen, we'll go back to the Tinker trades. When you have some debit trades that are pretty proficient and perform quite well and don't draw down a ton, so like in this case, even on a $25,000 portfolio, our max drawdown just running the Tinker trades is about 15%. If you use some automated optimizers for sizing, and let's say you're optimizing based off of maximum CAGR for max drawdown threshold. So basically, if you're saying, I want you to maximize my CAGR with a max drawdown of 10%. Okay, what I find is those automated services tend to oversize the debit traits. Like it would say, a lot of them would say with that criteria to run pretty much, I'd probably say like run like 5 lots of each of these and call it a day or something like that. Right? It still doesn't look bad, but that's not something I would want to run. Let's see, back in October of 2022 all the way through February of 2024, it was flat. So are you going to be okay with being flat for that long a period of time? Probably not, right? So that's the only thing I would say is I like to take those with a grain of salt. So I'll probably be posting probably one of my versions of this to the video notes. Keep in mind it's really, really raw. I'm sure there's some formula stuff that could be cleaned up, and these analytics are really just based off of what I like to look at. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you take a look. That's it for today. We'll see you next time. Thanks.